Hi everybody, I'm Jaden.
I'm Nicole.
I'm Eli.
I'm Jason.
I'm Caden.
And we are the Yahuwah and the Torah channel. We thank you guys very, very much for being here, and we appreciate you. Cade, that was a pretty lackluster Caden. How you doing?
Good.
You sad?
Oh.
You gonna make this one?
I just said I'm Caden.
Yeah, there's not very lackluster here. We're supposed to like cheer the people on when we do this. Hey, how's everyone doing out there? We thank you guys very, very much for joining us. We are the Yahuwah and the Torah channel, and we are those people who believe that the laws, statutes, and commands of our Creator from Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy are good for all times. They are good for all people. They will enhance your life. They will bless your life. They will keep you on the straight and narrow, and they will help you get into that little narrow gate that we're told about in Matthew that most people seem not to be able to find. And so if you're looking for that little narrow gate that our Son of our Creator has told us about, then you would want to keep the laws, statutes, and commands. They are not done away with. How do we know they're not done away with, Eli?
Because nowhere in the Torah, nowhere in the Bible did it say that the laws are done away with. And he told us over and over and over to keep his commands.
But, Caden, people believe that Paul has turned the laws off, that nobody has to keep the laws anymore. What do we have to say about that?
That they didn't read their Bibles. They are not intelligent enough to actually read the Bible correctly and in context. They take a verse because they listen to someone who is not intelligent enough to understand Yah's word.
Well, I was trying to do this without beating people down, without making them feel like idiots by any chance, because that's not what we're here to do by any mean. It has nothing to do with intelligence. In fact, it has complete everything to do with brainwashing. It has complete everything to do with, I guess, more of a lazy look at religion, or a lazy look. It has zero to do with intelligence, because I will tell you there are a tremendous amount of extremely smart people that don't care about the Creator. They don't care about it. It has zero to do with intelligence.
It's more about like not wanting to like follow someone. They don't want to be. They want to feel like they want to be in charge. They don't want anything to be in charge of them.
We've been lied to all our lives, and we've been told that these are old school laws, that they apply to the old people. They apply to God's chosen people. What do you have to say about that, anyone?
I mean, if you don't want to be God's chosen people, if you don't want to be that person, then there's only two places you go after you die. You either go to heaven or to hell. And if you are not chosen by Elohim, then you are obviously chosen by the devil.
So are you trying to tell me that Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy is good today?
Yeah, absolutely. It said forever, for all generations. We are still generations. We are. Time hasn't run out. The world hasn't ended. We are still here.
Nicole?
Heaven and earth are still here, so it's still in.
We're fairly sure about this?
Yeah.
Because it seems easy enough that we can raise our hand when we're 8 years old and we can be saved, and they say once saved, always saved.
You know, it doesn't ever talk about you can be saved by asking Jesus into your heart, and you'll be saved. That's not a command in the Bible. You have to believe on Him, and you'll be saved for your forgiveness, but you also have to be following a righteous path.
The Christians have almost a motto or a thing that says once saved, always saved. Is that biblical, or does that fall away from Scriptures?
That follows from Scriptures. You can look at a lot of people throughout the entire Bible. The Israelites, they did the Torah for a little bit. King Saul, right? He was good for a little bit, then he ended up breaking Torah, and he ended up falling off the path. And you can look at all throughout Israel, and everybody that ever fought against Yah, they were on the path once, and then they fell off.
So you're saying this isn't just a quick decision and we're saved?
No, this is a lifetime journey. This isn't just a one-time thing. This is for all time that we're supposed to do.
And what does a lifetime look if you are on this journey, Jade?
It says you following the Torah, obeying the commands.
Yeah, but what does a person's life look like?
It should be from the time they are born to the time they die.
And what does a life under the Torah look like?
It looks like someone who follows the Torah, who's keeping the commands, who wears tzitzit.
Does a person who's keeping the Torah, do they have cable TV, and are they watching worldly TV?
No.
Do Torah keepers listen to worldly music?
No.
What about the radio, the music on the radio?
No, that's
Silly, it's the same thing as the.
What about MTV, the music television, the stuff where they have videos and long-haired people and the stuff like that? Do we do that?
No.
What about watching a G-rated movie?
No, we shouldn't.
You shouldn't be watching any movies at all.
What if it's only G-rated? That's Disney. That's Disney stuff. Are you guys trying to...
A lot of hidden stuff, a lot of subliminal stuff, you are letting your soul see that your eyes don't see, but your soul sees it.
Are you telling me that this family-friendly company called Disney, is where they present G-rated shows, we should not be watching?
No.
Why?
Because they're in the world, they don't believe in Yahuwah, they teach against the Torah, they let them do whatever they want, and they are run by people who believe in the devil, who worship the devil.
Yeah, and for those of the who want a little bit deeper on there, if you know anything about Disney, Disney was Walt Disney was a Freemason. He was a 33-degree Freemason. There is a tremendous amount of evil. Long before Disney went to the trans world and did all the crazy stuff that they're doing, they always inserted evil things inside their cartoons. You can research it, and if you go down that research, your soul will be black by the time you finish your research. But for years and years and years, they've included sexual, just orientation stuff that should not be in these cartoons. And even stuff they say is very evil. And so if you are participating in any facet of that kind of a life, if you are involved in the world, then you are not separated from the world. We are called to be peculiar people. And doing those things is not a peculiar person. Okay, so today is month 8 on our Creator's calendar. It is the 6th day of the week. It is the 9th day of his month. It is the 4th day of the Gregorian Babylonian calendar, which puts us on a Friday or Freak Day, whatever that demon thing was that they named it after. And it is November. All right, today is a very special day. What is the special day, gentlemen?
Today is Preparation Day.
What does that mean?
It means tomorrow is the Shabbat. That means today we're going to get everything prepared, so we prepared so that we can rest for tomorrow.
Okay, so Preparation Day. Where do we get this? Where is, do we have any kind of scriptural, do we just say it's Preparation Day, or how do we know it's Preparation Day? What does this mean?
We saw it in Matthew, the end of Matthew, the day of preparation. We saw that. We also know from the Torah commands that we're supposed to prepare what we need to eat the day before. We're supposed to work all the stuff the day before, and we're supposed to do nothing but rest and dwell with Yah on the Shabbat.
Absolutely. Okay, and so today is that day that we do all of our stuff. We do all of our clinging. We do all of our cooking. We do everything. You get it into your crock pots, or you get it muffins made, or whatever it is, so you do not have to cook your cling or have your servants cook or your cling. Tomorrow, we should not be doing anything outside of the will of our Creator, which is hanging out with Him and seeking Him. And tomorrow, we do have a Shabbat service. It is live. It is 11 o'clock our time.
12 p.m. Eastern.
12 p.m. Eastern time. And that should include a lot of the world. I think we can still keep Africa online. It might be late there. But we have people from all over the world that join. And it is really a fun little ecclesia. It's just a tiny little ecclesia that we are, and it is exactly the kind of little ecclesia that we hope to be and that we want to be. And so if you'd like to join us, we are there. Okay, gentlemen, how you doing?
Good.
Everyone all right?
Yep.
Okay, all right, let's get into Mark 4. Okay, and he began to teach again by the sea, and a large crowd was gathered to him, so that he entered into a boat to sit into the sea. And all the crowd was on the land, facing the sea. And he taught them much in parables, and said to them in his teaching, "Listen, see, a sower went out to sow. And it came to be, as he sowed, some fell by the wayside, and the birds of the Shamayim came and devoured it. And other fell on rocky places, where it had not much soil, and immediately it sprang up, because it had no depth of soil. But when the sun was up, it was scorched, and because it had no root, it withered away. And other fell among thorns, and the thorns grew up and choked it and yielded no crop. And other fell on good soil and yielded a crop that came up, grew and yielded a crop, some 30-fold, and some 60, and some 100. And he said to them, He who has ears to hear, let him hear. Now, he's not talking about corn stalks, right? Because he just planted a whole bunch of seed, those with ears to hear.
Well, I don't think he would have ears that hear as corn.
I don't think the corn hears. That was a bad dad joke.
It was funny.
I tried.
I thought it was funny.
Okay, so he's definitely talking about, what are we talking about here? We know
if you have ears on the side of your head, and you have the wisdom to understand it.
That's not necessarily true, because everybody has ears, and a lot of people can't hear. It's like the little hole is plugged up. But you have, right? You can't hear anything.
So we actually learned about this in Matthew. It talked about this exact thing, but it didn't say the thing about how to increase some 64. We had a little more detail of more of the parable, because I don't think Matthew included the whole thing about increasing 60-fold and 30-fold. So
Pretty sure it did.
I think we talked about that, because I remember us when we talked about that, when we planted a piece of corn. Remember, I came up with the fact that a corn had 800 pieces of corn. If you plant one single piece of corn, it's supposed to grow up. It's supposed to have 800 pieces on one single piece of corn.
Not a whole piece of corn.
That's what the internet said on a piece of corn. But
I don't think that's true.
And Nicole doesn't think that's true.
800 on one corn. That's a lot.
She's calling a hoax on that. However, that doesn't mean...
That's not the point.
That's not the point. So the point is, one piece of corn, if it gets 800, even if it does 100, that's 100-fold, right? And some of these that he's talking about are 30-fold, 60-fold, and 100-fold. So if you're able to get 30-fold or 60-fold or 100-fold back for one seed, you are doing very well. Okay, so let's continue on. Let's see what he has to say. And when he was alone, those about him with the 12 asked him about the parable. And he said to them, to you it has been given to know the secret of the reign of Elohim, but to those who are outside, all are done in parables, so that seeing they see, but do not perceive, and hearing they hear, but do not understand, lest they should turn and their sins be forgiven them. And he said to them, do you not understand this parable? How then shall you understand all the parables? The sower sows the word. These then are the ones by the wayside where the word is sown. And when they hear, Satan comes immediately and takes away the word that was sown in their hearts. And likewise, these are the ones sown on rocky places, who when they hear the word, immediately receive it with joy. And they have no root in themselves, but are short-lived. Then when pressure or persecution arises because of the word, immediately they stumble. And others are those sown among thorns. These are they who hear the word, and the worries of this age, and deceit of riches, and the deceit of riches, and the desires for other matters entering in, choke the word, and it becomes fruitless. Okay, so these are some interesting things. I'm going to stop right here because we still have the rest of this to go. But Messiah Yahushua says the things that will, basically what he's talking about, we know that when he's talking about things being sown, he's talking about the word. Mm-hmm. Eli, what is the word?
The Torah.
The Torah. Now, the Christians believe that Messiah Yahushua is the word. If you told them what the word is, they would not believe you. Because John 1:1 and John 1:14 say that the word was among us. Does that mean the word of Yahuwah is Messiah Yahushua only? Is this what this means? What does this mean?
Basically, if you were to take the Torah and make a human being, it would be Yahushua, because he completed the Torah. He was the Torah. He did everything according to the Torah, and his life looked like a person following the Torah, like a perfect person following the Torah.
Absolutely. And so there's some things that can kill people that have the word. Messiah Yahushua talks about right now, worries of this age. Does anyone here at this table not worry?
No, I think we all have our worries.
Anyone not worry? Raise your hand if nobody worries. All right, there's no hands up. Okay, we all worry about stuff, and we shouldn't, but we do. And it says the deceit of riches. What could that mean?
It means everyone goes after their own fame, their own fortune, their own making it big, and they lose sight of Yah.
When people get money, a lot of people become their own god. They will become a lowercase g, and they've earned it. They've created this world. They have made it with their own hands, and look, they are rich, and it's all because of them, right? So that will kill them. Desires for other matters, right? What could that be? Well, that could be a woman and lots of other things. There could be lots of other things, and a woman that is out of Torah could simply take your soul away. It's simple enough. I mean, if Solomon, the supposedly the wisest king in the world, was fallen to the women, it could happen to you.
Well, the wisest king is the wisest man.
Yeah, he's supposed to be.
Yeah,
he's probably the wisest king, supposedly, as well.
There was supposed to be no one wiser than him in the world, and he still failed.
He failed in his wisdom. Yes, he did. Okay, so there's a lot of things that can, it says it becomes fruitless. Okay, 20. And those sown on good soil are those who hear the word and accept it and bear fruit, some 30-fold and 60, and some 60 and some 100-fold. How do the people out there, gentlemen, how do the people bear fruit with this, what he's talking about right here?
They would bear fruit by going and telling the word, by going and preaching the Torah.
How are we as a family attempting to bear fruit?
Well, we've heard the good word, and we are trying to tell it to you guys so that you guys can hear the good word, and you can keep going on and just keep growing to we get a bigger root, and the tree keeps growing.
Yeah, and so we heard the word, we totally accept it, 150,000%, and we're attempting to bear fruit by letting people know that this is the right way to go, and that we will sit here and we will read with you, we will pray with you, we will love you guys, and that we are attempting to do what Messiah Yahushua says. And that is where you, and if you have the word and you have it in your heart, what are signs you don't bear fruit with it?
Well, your life looks like the world. You don't teach Yahuwah, you don't teach the word, you are a worldly person. Like the world. You have no fruit. Basically, it could be like a modern day Christian. You've heard the word, people have told you it, but you refuse to. You keep living the way you want to live because you believe that you don't need to follow that.
Yeah, and and I mean, would you get the greatest information that you ever knew? I mean, wouldn't you want? It's like the guy with the withered hand. He pops it up, and Messiah Yahushua says, "Hey, don't tell anyone." Right? That's the last thing he did was tell nobody, right? He went and told everybody, right. And he was excited, right? This is the excitement that we have, that we should all have, and that those who are listening to this, if you can see this excitement, or if you could feel the excitement in these words, this is the excitement that you need to attempt to pass on to others.
It's kind of like everyone, the whole world's sick, and you have the cure, but you don't give them the cure. You keep it to yourself. That's exactly what they do.
Absolutely. Yeah, you let everyone dwell with cancer when you have a killing cancer.
So you have the cure, but instead of giving it away and helping everyone else out, you give it to yourself.
Yeah, and you don't say anything about it, right? And that would not be good fruit.
Like the greatest chance in the world they have to live, and you won't help anybody.
Right, and it's all of our jobs that we go and attempt to do this. And we're going to be putting out a video. I'm going to be putting out a video right after this, and I'm going to show you guys how you guys can bear massive amounts of fruit super cheap. We're going to show you guys how to get a little USB stick and put the Hallelujah Scriptures on a cheap little USB stick, and you guys will be able to give everybody a full Bible with the right translations for under $2. So if you guys go and get 10 USB sticks, copy that Bible out there, and go get people a scriptures, and it is up to them. That is fruit that you guys can do. So guys, stay tuned for that as well. Okay, 21. And he said to them, would a lamp be brought to be put under a basket or under a bed? Is it not to be put on a lampstand? Okay, you guys, a lot of people won't understand this. A lot of people live in modern day electricity world. We have lived in this house where we don't have power, and we have to have candles, we have to have kerosene lamps, we have to have everything else because we don't have any kind of power. So
basically, you have the light, and so you can light up the whole world, your whole house. You have the candle, and when you bring it around with you. But if you put it under a bushel, no one else can see. No one else can see around the house if you put out the candle.
Yeah, and if we when we have complete darkness, we don't have any power, and we light 4 or 5 candles on the table, what do we do with those candles? Do we put them under the table?
No, we put them on top of the table so we can see. So everyone can see.
Right.
If you don't let anybody see, they're going to fall down.
And how do we get them to see? How do we get the house to get more light?
We add another candle.
We add them higher. You put them higher. The higher that you have with the lights, the more they will distribute. Does that not make any sense?
I don't think we've ever raised up that high before.
Well, you don't put them under the table, right?
Right.
Right. So the higher you go with your light, the more light is going to be out. It's not going to be totally bright, but you're going to be able to see more. Okay, 22. For whatever is hidden shall be revealed, and whatever has been kept secret shall come to light. If anyone has ears to hear, let him hear. And he said to them, take heed what you hear. With the same measure you use, it shall be measured to you, and more shall be added to you who hear. For whoever possesses, to him shall be given, but whoever does not possess, even what he possesses shall be taken away from him. What does he mean? What is this right here? For whoever possesses, to him shall be more given. What does your guys' say? Kate, what does yours say? Do you have any idea where you're at? Jade, what do you have?
So it says here, and
we're in verse 25, Kate.
So okay, I was reading 24, sorry, with the measure, but okay, I guess reading 25.
Well, what is it? What I'm trying to figure out is, what does it mean? Whoever possesses, to him shall be given more. What is he talking about?
So it says, from mine it says, for he that has, it shall be given to him. And he that doesn't, and he that has not, it shall be taken from him which he has. And I think that's the light, right? If you have the light, and if you have it, you will be given more because you are giving it away. But if you don't have the light, like if you know that you need to light a candle, and you don't light the candle, your candle's going to get taken away from you.
Yeah, and I think we can also take this back to the previous parable by Messiah Yahushua when he talks about the talents. He gave one servant 5 talents, he gave the other servant 2, and they gave the other one 1. One guy buried it, right? Whoever is given stuff, you're expected more. And for Boss Clan, we have been isolated. We're not rich by any chance. We don't even have like money, but we are set apart to the point that we can eat lentils till we die. We have been given so much, and so we must, as a family, give back everything we have, which is why we attempt to teach as much as we possibly can. And I wouldn't even say we're teachers. We like to read with you guys, and if those who like to read with us, then I guess that's called a teaching, but if not, we're just reading with you guys as a family. So if you have a lot, and you don't take care of what you have, you will be given less. And so we don't want that. 26. And he said, the reign of Elohim is as when a man scatters seed on the ground, then sleeps by night and rises by day. While the seed sprouts and grows, he himself does not know how. For the soil yields crops by itself. First the blade, then the head, after that the completed grain in the head. And when the crop is ready, immediately he puts in the sickle, because the harvest has come. And he said, to what shall we compare the reign of Elohim? Or with what parable shall we present it? Like a mustard seed, which when it is grown on the ground is smaller than all the seeds on earth. And when it is sown, it grows up and becomes greater than all plants and forms large branches, so that the birds of the Shamaim are able to nest under its shade. And with many such parables he was speaking to them the word as they were able to hear. And he was not speaking to them without parables. And when they were alone, he explained all to his Talmudian. And on the same day, when even had come, he said to them, let us pass over to the other side. And having left the crowd, they took him along in the boat, and and other little boats were also with him. And there came a great windstorm, and the waves beat into the boat, so that it was already being filled. And he was in the stern, asleep on a cushion. And when they woke him up and said to him, teacher, is it no concern to you that we perish? So for those who have never heard this story, these guys are out in the middle of a boat. I guess if you guys have never been in a boat, boats are dangerous. Boats are very scary, especially when storms come up. They'll blow you away. They'll blow you around. They will toss water up in your boat. It is a very tumultuous incident that you have, and it is issued. And so they woke him up. Teacher, is it no concern to you that we perish? And Messiah was having a nice little nap. He was finally having a good sleep, and there we go. 39. And having been awakened, he rebuked the wind and said to the sea, peace, be still. And the wind ceased, and there was a great calm. And he said to them, why are you so afraid? Have you not yet belief? And they feared exceedingly and asked each other, who then is this, that even the wind and the sea obey him? Okay, so there we go. We have we've heard this before, right? Yep. We had that in last Matthew, right? Yep. We've heard this. We saw this before. Thoughts? Anyone?
I don't think the disciples knew exactly who he was just yet. They were just following because he was doing it. I think they considered him as a prophet at this point, still at this time. Like, who is he? Wow, even nature's listening to him, because they still didn't understand quite who he was.
Right, but wouldn't that be quite the thing that you could say, peace, be still, and the wind stops and the waves stop ceasing around? I mean, that would just be, that would be sketchy. I mean, you would see something like that, and you would just not know who you were dealing with, and that is exactly what they did. Okay, so I guess that is it. I guess the moral of today's story is that we need to be a light. We need to light our candle. We need to put it out. Let the light be the word of Yah. Let his word reign, and let his son come and be our king. We are ready for him. The world is ready for him. Well, the world's not ready for him, but we are. And so we have a little tiny world, and it's a little tiny peculiar ecclesia, and it's all of us. We're ready for him. The rest of the world is not. So when he comes, it will be a marvelous, marvelous day. Anyone else have anything?
Tomorrow's Shabbat. Get prepared so you can rest tomorrow. Get all your stuff cooked. Get all your work done. Get your house cleaned. Whatever you need to do so you do not have to work tomorrow.
Yep. Alrighty. Thank you guys very, very much.
All right.
Shalom.